group, why VC?
So it starts with actually biotech because I am a bio major, and I knew as a freshman I was not going to do any pre-med stuff, or I'm not going to go into academia, because if you have like a big dead rat in front of you and they tell you to cut it open and you see rats running around on campus, like that's not a huge incentive.
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
I was interested in biotech because it applies more of the biology that we learn in the classroom to things you can actually use and see, which is a lot more tangible than most biology. So when COVID hit, I was interning for a biotech company, and I really liked the idea of biotech in general.
Mm-hmm.
And this person called Eric Koster, who's a professor at the business school, he reached out to me and said, "Tian, do you want to be a published author?"
Whoa.
And I thought he was a scam because he just reached out to me, but I did my research, sent it to my friends, and he was real, and I thought it's a perfect opportunity to jump into entrepreneurship. So what I wrote about was how we can be entrepreneurs in our own right by being intrinsically successful by being ourselves. So I asked 20 entrepreneurs from all different backgrounds, immigrants, people of color, women, high school dropouts and college dropouts, what it means to be successful and their definition of successful.
Mm-hmm.
And through that, I shaped my own understanding of success, what I can do with my life, what my future trajectory could be.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, publishing a book, Exceptionally Average. And with that, I couldn't be an author writing a book about entrepreneurship without being an entrepreneur myself.
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't make sense.
You gotta speak what you actually are.
Exactly. So I am from Australia. I went to high school in Sydney.
Nice.
I went to high school in Western Massachusetts. I live in San Francisco, and now we're here in DC. So much of the communication I do with my extended family is through phone calls.
Nice.
I left China when I was 6. But my grandfather is always like, when are you coming home? When are you coming to visit? Like, love to spend time with you. But throughout the progression of these past 16 years, he's forgetting why he's asking when I'm coming home. He's forgetting who I am, that I actually am grown, like I can drive a car, but he doesn't believe that I can. But who's going to trust like a 10-year-old diagnosing her grandfather with Alzheimer's? Like, no one's going to believe that. And these intrinsic holes in our healthcare system within society are breaking apart millions of families, because my story is really not unique. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to create a dopamine sensor that can detect our internal imbalances in dopamine that lead to Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, schizophrenia, related dementias, and to understand that. I try to be a biotech startup, but in the world of Elizabeth Holmes, when her trial is going on because of Theranos, it's very much like, do you have the science to back it up? But no, I don't have the science because I don't have the money. Well, who's going to trust like a college student to have the money to do some experiments? So no money, no data, no money. So I was stuck in that hole, and I really couldn't get out of it. Nobody would believe me. I couldn't do the science. Also COVID, I couldn't get into labs. So I wanted to see what it means to be a successful entrepreneur. Like, how can you take your idea, the one that you actually believe in, and take it to market, get revenue, be positive with cash flow. So that's when I pivoted to VC, because I want to see how they did it, like why they did it, like what is driving them to do it, and listening to like 1,000 no's, but having that one yes can change the entire trajectory of like who you are and what you can do. So that's why VC.
Okay, so out of those 1,000, if I'm, you said a lot, but out of the 1,000 pitches you've listened to, can we extract some meta lessons from all like the pitches you've heard? I mean, I know you worked at the like investment VC like competition, and like I know you've spent a lot of time like hearing VC pitches. Is that right?
Yeah, kind of.
So let's
so
hear some, like,
numbers wise, like you have to have good numbers, you have to believe in what you're doing, you have to have traction, you have to have customers, you have to have a market, you have to have like a game plan. But game plans can change. Like entrepreneurs, you have to be ready for anything and everything. Like you can't really expect things to go exactly your way, because hey, like who anticipated COVID?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if you have a game plan and you're willing to change on the spot with things that life throws at you,
mm-hmm.
you'll be fine.
I think it's like the discipline to be able to stay on track, but also the flexibility and nimbleness to pivot when necessary.
Right.
Yeah, which I mean, I feel like it's difficult for a lot of people to strike that balance, because it's like without the data sometimes, like I mean that's kind of like where you want to be making decisions off of, like based on the data, but it's difficult because pivoting is kind of it's not like an easy, you don't know exactly like when to pivot or what to pivot to. You kind of
know when to pivot because you're making absolutely no progress, no matter how much time and money you throw at it.
Okay, but Do you? What about like more minor pivots? I guess you could break it down pivots into like major changes and like slight redirections. Like I feel like slight redirections, you can like don't need to be like complete overhauls and complete changing the direction of where you're going, but just like add-ons, or maybe pivot isn't the right word for less major.
So what we learn in like entrepreneurship classes here is the lean startup method. Do as much as you can with as little money as you can and get as much data as you can. So what I think you're talking about, like the small pivots, is like you talk to a lot of people, you have like your assumptions, let's say A to D. You have these assumptions, you test all those assumptions, and whatever assumption is supported by the data you get from talking to people, that is what you go with. So you can have all these forks in the road, but then something pushes you one way and you go that way. So it's not like a huge pivot, but you have options laid out in front of you.
I love college because I was in Lao the other day and I heard a Zoom call between a founder and like a senior class, like doing like a seminar, and I just like randomly dropped in on it, sat outside the door, listened, and that's exactly what he was talking about. He was addressing the question, which I feel like a lot of people are in, is like the non-technical founder role in a tech startup, which I feel like is like a lot of people's situation for whatever reason. And he was saying basically what you just said: get to your MVP, first talk to as many people as possible. See if there's an actual problem that has a market. Like, are you the one that can do it? Like, do you have the right people to put in place, like in the different positions? And then, like, before you like go absolutely insane, like trying to find the perfect CTO, see what you can do yourself. Like, have like a low level code product. And just like get to your MVP as fast as possible, and then like once you have an idea that you can show people, like something more substantial that you can show people, then it's gonna start attracting like the better technical talent for you to like onboard. So
the meta lesson here is that you always have to show people that you're worth going after. You have to show people a product. You have to convince people. Be an entrepreneur, you need to be good at sales. You need to pitch yourself. You need to pitch your product. You need to pitch your vision. Because in early stages, it's not about the money. It's about the person. It's about the vision. It's about the dedication. It's about the personality. Do you want to work with that person? Do you believe in that person?
Do you trust that person?
And after that comes the money, the traction. That's the difference between VC and private equity. Because private equity, are you having the right numbers? Are you an accountant? Can you like read those numbers? But venture capital is more about, do you believe in that person? It's more human-centric than number-centric.
That's why I'm attracted to VC. Because I'm human-centric. Because like in this world of like increasing technology, increasing data, just everything kind of moving in, it's all like a lot of people would argue like that we're moving away from like our roots, like humanities, whatever. And so it's like, what is the role of a people person in business? And it's like, I saw some tweet from, or some post on LinkedIn, I think it was like Peter Thiel or something, and he was like, all investors are people, all founders are people, all customers are people. It's like business is a people game, but I feel like it's easy to forget that in this world of like what we're interested in is so specialized, whether it's like biotech or like better machine learning algorithms to look at like huge swaths of data. Like those are super technical skills, but I feel like maybe the role of a person, like just speaking selfishly, like more like me, like more of a people person, like I feel like manager type, is like getting those people together in the right, like creating the right environment, getting those people together in one place, and kind of pointing them in one direction, and then like we said before, keeping the discipline going in that direction.
What's your end game?
You asked that before about my podcast. I don't have the end game. I love the journey. I just love doing it. I think life's, I know I'm gonna die one day. That's the end game. I'm gonna die. So I don't know, VC is such a cool avenue because you can have, I think it's one where all the interesting technology is, and you can have such a massive impact, and there's so much money going around that like you can make such a big impact. So I don't know what the end game is. Help the world as much as possible before I die.
Through VC or entrepreneurship?
I don't know. I was talking with the COO of Index Ventures randomly because we both got stuck at the same hotel in Anguilla in the lobby, and I was talking to her and I was telling her like about my interest in VC, and she's like, yeah, you should be an entrepreneur. There's so much money, like there's so much capital available, like being given out, like obviously you know about how the valuations are absolutely insane right now. Like people are throwing money at everything and hoping it sticks, which is like a reasonable game, especially when Tiger's like doing what they're doing. Like everyone kind of has to play that similar game. But it's like when you ask me VC or entrepreneurship, it's like the reason why I'm studying business, like why I'm learning about all these things is so like when I guess the proper company idea hasn't hit me yet. Like I've had so many ideas, like have all this stuff, but I'm kind of like, I feel like I'm building the structure so that when the right idea finally comes, I'll be able to harness everything at once and move really quickly on it.
Really, really interesting.
What's your end goal?
I think I'm suited to be a founder. I'm good with people, have good ideas, I know how to execute them. I'm not in the right place right now to do what I want to do. I don't have the professional experience, the financial backing. You have to build a foundation. So I'm learning.
Yeah.
We're gonna get there.
Yeah. I love it. I feel like it's the same thing. Just like learning as much as possible, so that when it is time, you can go. You have like all the tools necessary. I feel like I'm building my toolkit right now.
You have plenty of time.
Yeah. So how old are you?
I'm 22.
22. Nice. Are you gonna ask me how old I am?
No, I'm about to graduate.
Okay. What, you?
Yeah.
Nice. And like, what are you doing after grad? Well, I know you're working at 2 VC firms right now?
I'm working at this one.
Yeti? No.
No. No.
I can't, it's so funny.
No.
I can do the Australian accent sometimes.
No.
What is it? Savannah
Capital Partners.
Savannah Capital Partners?
Yeah.
What's their AUM?
They invest in technology-enabled companies, so a very, very wide range. So
same with every other VC firm.
Yeah, this one's minimum revenue is $20 million. Yeah.
It's I like if you were starting your own VC firm, would you be late stage, early stage? Would there be certain requirements? Would it be strictly biotech? Would you be receptive of anything? Would it be a certain age the founders would have to be, a certain level of experience, certain demographic? What's the philosophy of your?
I think I've actually written it.
If you want to toss out a name.
Oh, I don't have a name.
Go name later.
I think diverse founders with companies that have attained traction. International is kind of a big range, but nationally, who have like the, not to be cliche, but the desire to change the world.
But how do you separate the people that say they have the desire to change the world and the people that actually do? Like how
Traction.
do you traction?
Like
Go
how
on.
much they have actually done, because everyone can talk. We can have this conversation and do absolutely nothing about it. Who's actually going to be the trailblazer, make that first step, like put the shovel in the ground? That those people really, it's the people.
Yeah, like those. I wish there was a way to an AR where you could scan people and find the people that'll actually, like you said, execute, like take the people that will genuinely take the initiative.
I think you can tell by a conversation.
Really?
It's pretty evident. Like, for example, my housemate, you can have the most extravagant conversation with him. Does he do anything? No. Ridiculous ADHD. Cannot sit down. Like you can tell.
But I mean, I guess I want to play devil's advocate and say that people are complicated and maybe they're just not in the right position now, or I don't know, maybe they are able to execute, but it doesn't seem like it. Or
I agree. You just have to find the right thing. Anything else, absolutely anything else that's not cryptocurrency, he would not do in like 24 hours. If it's crypto, he'll do in the millisecond.
Mm-hmm.
He has grown his like $5,000 investment to like 30 grand. Like
Mhm.
that's what he likes. That's what he wants to do. That's his thing.
Mhm.
Like if it's about his thing, he's gonna do it. Like he's found his niche. Like that's the love of his life.
That's awesome.
Anything else? No.
That's cool.
So like from a conversation, you can't tell.
Well, that's hopeful then. Then I guess you don't need the AR scanning technology.
You just have to have a conversation with someone. This podcast is doing the trick.
Yeah, that's part of the goal, I guess. It's really more like the podcast is really more of like a selfish learning experience for me, talking to as many smart people as possible and like getting a better understanding of the world in general. But I guess like as I like say I wanted to be a founder, it would be a great avenue of scouting for talent. Or if I'm in the VC role, having an hour and a half conversation with someone is a really great way to get to know whether they're bullshitting you or not, which is...
You can tell in the first like 10 minutes. Like an hour and a half of your time, that's just so much of your time. Like you...
Well, maybe it's a lot of time, but I like the hour and a half, if the people are genuine. Maybe the ones that are bullshitting, we can cut them off at the 7-minute mark. And the ones that are genuine.
That's very true.
And
I think it's just like, with me, I'm ridiculously efficient. So like an hour and a half to me is like, I need to be invested to be in an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like we're having a conversation, half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Like time is a fucking currency.
Yeah, is that how you think?
Over COVID, I became obsessed with time. Like I knew exactly what time, like to the minute the sun would set, sun would go up, like how much time I need to sleep to feel energized, how much time I need to sleep in the day, how much time I'm going to work out, how much time this essay is going to take me. Like I knew exactly how much things are going to take me without the distractions of social relationships.
Say the last part?
Without the influence of social relationships.
Why add that part?
It's
Wait.
COVID.
Oh, you're completely locked off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough. What were you doing during COVID? Grinding?
I wrote a book and started a company.
Yeah.
While being a full-time student and like getting
That's
4.0.
That's grinding. Good shit. That's respectable.
So,
Nice.
like I'm still psychotic. I still do so much, but like, hey, if you're liking it.
But you're not driving yourself insane?
No, I have plenty of time to like hang out with friends.
Yeah. I mean, I'm doing a lot less than you, but I feel like when people are just like swamped or like they haven't slept in like 2 days, I'm like, how? Like, it's really not that hard to get all the stuff you need to get done. Do it well, work out, and see your friends. Like, it's not difficult to do.
It took me years to do this though. Like freshman year, I was sleeping like 6 hours, hanging out with my friends, drinking a little too much. But like everyone has to go through that phase. If you don't go through that phase, either you have some like bottled up resentment or like you're not gonna figure it out.
Yeah. Or maybe you're just trying to have a little bit of fun. I feel like maybe like I'm in that phase because I know, like this summer for instance, like I don't think I'm gonna do like a traditional internship. I already have another job. I'm a first mate on a fishing boat, and I summer
A what?
a fishing boat. Okay. I'm a
Okay.
first mate. So part of the
What that means.
a first mate. So I'm surprised if you're from Sydney, you don't know what a first mate. My dad owns a 44 passenger fishing boat, a big wooden boat, and we take people 5 miles out and go bottom fishing. So I meet 100 new people every single day in the summer and like build those relationships. So that's like part of the reason why how I've been able to hone like my people skills just by a massive amount of data and interacting with so many different types of people from different backgrounds, like wealthy, poor, everything across this like giant range. And also like instilling that sense of like service in me where I am really nothing other than the person who's supposed to help these people have the best time possible. And so whatever you're doing, you're trying to provide value to people. So it kind of adjusts. Like in the VC role, like if you're in the VC role, like you're a mentor, you're providing capital, you're letting them get access like to your network and your firm's network. But on the water, I'm just trying to make sure people have fun and that their lines don't get tangled while they're fishing, and that they can catch fish and have some dinner tonight.
How would you think your huge exposure to transitory relationships has shaped the person that you have become?
I don't know if I would consider them transitory. I don't think like that. When I'm in the moment, when I'm talking to them, it isn't transitory. It's everything. Like when I'm with you right now, it's not transitory. Like obviously we're going to be done in 20 minutes or whenever we are, but like you are the only thing I care about right now. I'm not thinking about anything else.
My question is, sometimes when you meet someone, you're like neutral about them, or maybe you like them, or maybe you don't like them. Like every time I meet someone, they're neutral, unless they gave me a reason to like them or dislike them.
Okay.
So after you cross, like maybe you interact with people a different way. Maybe it's like it's always a positive relationship. Maybe it's always a negative, but judging by like this conversation, it's not always negative. So like once you progress down a relationship, you learn more things about the other person. It could be good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, if I have a very long a long relationship with someone, both the good and bad come out. It just depends how much I can tolerate.
Mm-hmm.
How is that? So you meet a huge amount of people day to day. So how do you think that quantity of people, but you only see them for the day, has changed the way you've navigated yourself?
Navigated myself?
Navigated yourself in this journey we call life.
Damn, you're hitting me with that deep shit.
You wanted a conversation.
Hell yeah, I wanted a conversation. I don't know exactly how to answer that. I guess, like, say my goal is to provide people with the best experience possible. I take that as, if that's possible, they need to be open and willing to have a great experience. Some people, like on a private, like we do private charters, and sometimes it'll just be a 4-person family. It's like a lot more expensive. And sometimes the kids are sitting on their phone, and the father's on a business call, and the mom's just like sitting there like cold or whatever. It's like I feel like I've gotten good at reading people and seeing like what they're open to and what they're not open to. And I mean, obviously, I'm looking for those people that like are willing to connect, like open to engaging and want and share the energy of. I mean, this is my dad, which pisses me off sometimes, especially like when I was younger in the like breakfast table in the morning. But he's the type of person to be like, yeah, today's the greatest day of my entire life. And he's genuine about it, which is amazing. So it's like, it's getting that person's sense of energy, whether they think, yeah, today's just like a shitty day, nothing really matters. Like, not like, I mean, I take like a optimistic nihilist approach. Like, really, in the end, I think that, like, we're gonna die. Nothing like ultimately really matters. Like, the Earth's gonna end. Whatever. It's a simulation. Call it whatever you want. But like in the day to day, it feels so real. So I'm like, all right, well, why not take big? Like, if everything's gonna end, if you're gonna die, take big chances. Talk to new people. Like, just do everything that you can. Like, take those big risks, because you know it's all gonna come crashing to a flaming end at the end of it all.
Have you ever stopped a stranger in the middle of the road?
Have I ever what?
Conversation with them? Have a stranger in the road have conversation with them?
What, stop them dead in the road? I talk to a lot of people. I don't know if I've ever stopped them in the middle of the road, just like, stop, I need to speak with you. But
Try that.
What?
Try that.
Do you do that?
I mean, I'm going to say a lot of my freshmen. A lot of my friends, younger friends, ask me how I meet people. Like, most of my friends
by saying hi.
They don't look like me. They don't sound like me. I usually decrease the average height of the room by 6 foot, like a foot, or like 12 inches. And I usually am the smallest person in the room, just by like sheer size. I don't have friends who look like me, and it's just very interesting because I just meet people. Like, if I know that they might know me and we acknowledge each other, I'm just going to start a conversation with them, because like, what's to lose? They ignore me? Cool. Not the end of the world. And
so when you're approaching that, call them a semi-stranger, or maybe a semi-friend, glass half full, glass empty, do you find like, are you searching for commonalities that you have with each other and identifying those in the opening line? Like strategically, or like at a very...
I think that comes a little too naturally, so yes. It doesn't take that much effort to find the commonality. Mm-hmm. It's like, you know them from that one place, so why not bring up that one place where you have the commonality? Because people are more open to talking about commonalities and differences. Yeah, I get that. All right, going back to when you were talking about definitions of success. What's your definition of success? There was a guy I talked to. He he was the story I highlighted in my book. So I can't remember. He was homeless when he was 4. His parents divorced when he was 7. His father was shot dead when he was 11. And he broke, I think, his leg. They still got a full scholarship to Georgetown to play football. And he created a non-profit to raise 500 families out of poverty in the local DC area to give back to the people that have raised him.
That's hype.
And he was struggling with depression and anxiety and all the stuff that comes with like a regular person in college. And he, after a few bad spirals, his definition of success is being able to wake up every single morning, being satisfied of where you are, being able to like go out to his garden, water his flowers, to tell himself it's a good day, and to appreciate and love the guy looking back at him in the mirror. I think being comfortable with myself, with where I am, not having anxiety, being just content with everything is my definition of success.
Okay. So say that's like, I mean, this is obvious. Like, say that's like the Buddhist stance, like accepting where you are now, like no desires, no attachments. Like it's kind of like just the present moment, and being completely content and satisfied with where you are. Like exactly what you just said. How do you balance that stance of being perfectly okay with where you are, and having goals and motivations and drives into the future? Because aren't those like inherently unreconcilable? Like I'm happy with where I am now. I also want to be somewhere else and be something else. Like I want to be what I am right now, and I'm happy with what I am. But I also want to be something different, and I want to be somewhere else.
It's funny because I'm absolutely not religious at all.
Okay.
So
Then forget the Buddhist like shit. Just I'm happy with where I am now.
It's interesting because I know what I can do. I know what my body can tolerate. I know I don't drink coffee because it makes me anxious. I know that if I put 3 hours into an exam, I can get a pretty good score that I'm satisfied with. So I'm not going to push myself. I'm not going to pull an all-nighter because I want to get like 2 more points on that exam when I know what I am capable of doing. I'm not going to push myself to the extreme because I know what I can do by myself in my day-to-day is sufficient. For example, I am a full-time student at Georgetown, finishing out my senior year as a major with a concentration, with a minor, with a certificate. I am working 2 jobs, one as a TA, one as an intern at the Georgetown Entrepreneurship Center, and I have 3 internships at 3 VC firms. But I'm still surviving. I still have time to work out. How the
fuck are you still surviving?
10 hours of sleep, work an hour or 2 every day, hang out with friends, check in with my mentees, call my parents every single day. Like, I'm having a good life. Like, I know what I'm capable of. I know what I can say yes to when I have to say no. Like, I know my limits and I am doing fine. That's my definition of fine. That's very different to everyone else's definition of fine because no 2 people are the same, but I think I know myself well enough to know what I'm able to achieve.
So you use the word fine, like maybe to me that would be like exceptional.
Right.
So do you consider that, are you at a place where you self-assess where what you are right now is exceptional or fine?
I can do more. I finish my work like on a Thursday. I just kind of hang out Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like, I can do more, but I'm just trying to treat myself because it's senior year and I'm just trying to hang out with my friends and play spike ball.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So it's just like, I can do more, but I don't want to break myself. That's why I'm good with fine. I don't want to be exceptional because that's going to be my breaking point.
I like that. It's balance.
It took me a while to find it.
Yeah?
4 years at Georgetown.
Yeah.
Georgetown is crazy because I just had dinner again with one of my freshmen, someone who's like completely new to college, and he's killing himself drinking, I think, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday. So 5 days a week.
Yep.
And has papers and probably is getting COVID and like, he's going to learn how to manage. Everyone does their own thing. It just takes time. Like, he's going to get a great scholarship, like a great career. He's going to invite me to his penthouse in 10 years' time. Like, that's going to happen, but it takes time.
That's a lot of trust that you have in the future. Do you...
Like, you can tell. I'm telling you, you can tell.
So it's data driven.
It's not data driven, it's personality driven, it's conversation driven. Like, you can have a conversation with someone, you can tell. Like, my housemate who's into crypto, you can tell. You're going to visit his house in, like, the Bahamas or an exotic place because you can tell he's dedicated and he's going to make a bunch of money. Like, you can tell. It's about, like...
It's maybe, like, refreshing to me because I feel like maybe not that many people are as certain as you are about, like, I mean...
So, for example... When I was in Australia, I went to an all-girl school. Every single class you have with your home group, except for math. Math, you are segregated starting in the 3rd grade from the smart kids to the mediocre kids. I was in that class from 3rd grade to when I left Australia. So, in 9th grade.
Okay.
Most of those girls, I would say like 80% of those girls
in the smart class.
In the smart class, continuously from the 3rd grade to the 9th grade are at Stanford, Princeton, Northwestern, Yale, Georgetown, me, Oxford.
That's based on data, though.
So
I mean, I guess maybe
too. Like, just like knowing them, just like knowing this albeit small sample, you can tell. Like, you can tell people, you can tell.
But also, if you didn't know them at all and they were just blank faces that were in the top of their math class in a good Australian all-girls private, I'm assuming, school, you know that they're going to go to the best colleges. You don't need to know their personality types. You know that, like, I mean, if they're excelling in math, like, they're not, like, if they're in the top of the class, they're not going to go to some shit state school unless they can't afford it. The majority are going to go to the best college whether you know them or not.
So, one of those data points is my good friend. She was teaching herself, like, computer science, Russian, like some bizarre few languages. Fellas, so in Australia, we have something called the HSCs, the high school certificates, and you have this one exam that determines where you go to college, your future profession.
So stressful. They have those in I've watched like videos in like Korea, China, like
they have that. And
a single exam like for 8 hours at a time.
Right,
it's insane.
So for her high school exam, for her HSC, she fell asleep in her English exam, woke up in a daze, started writing Russian, and failed out.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
So she couldn't get into any of the schools that she was bound to get into. She was the smartest kid. She was on full scholarship.
You don't get a do-over?
And she took the SATs and went to UPenn.
Okay, that's cool. That's
so
insane.
I'm saying, like...
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I get your point. That's sick.
It's just like from my experience, you can tell.
Yeah.
Whether it's like personality or like maybe data, maybe a mixture of both, I don't know, but like...
Yeah. People. I honestly, like, yeah, people is such a big fucking thing, and I feel like if you can take those people skills and then actually learn some like technical skills, that's like what makes you unstoppable. Like that's what I feel like I'm here now, or like just learning in general. Like I have those base people skills. So do you. So do a lot of people.
But
if you have
many people, I'm telling you, like. People skills is going to be the differentiator because
I hope so. It would work well for us.
In VC, it comes down to personality. It just most firms have a very, very small team, and every single person has to have a respectable like decision-making process. But if they don't want to work with you, they don't want to work with you. I am the youngest person at my firm by like 5 to 8 years, and
that's right.
I am doing this, I don't know what it's called, an opportunity thing, just like a write-up. I'm doing the same work as an MBA student who is 8 years my senior and has a fiance. We're doing the absolute same work. Like, it's personality driven because they know that I can just be like, okay, I'm going to do it. Like, relationships also do matter too, so much in your career, and it's personality that, like, everyone can do anything, but your personality determines whether you can do it or not.
Everyone has a capacity to do anything,
right?
But the personality is whether they will do it or not.
Right, exactly.
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, you've restored my hope in, or my I guess trust in people's skills.
Like, I would say I'm just very different to any person you find on the street.
Why? Why are you so different?
Like, most of my friends are guys. Most of my friends are athletes. Like, you would not, like, if you take me, like, I have very many different personalities, and, like, my professional personality is not who I like, is not the definition of me. Like I hang out with like mostly guys who most girls are scared of or talk to or like go home with on the weekend, but like they're my best friends. Like I don't have I wouldn't say I have a very traditional view of the world because of my nuanced like personal history.
Okay, well, can you give your view of the world then? I mean, obviously we've touched on it, but you just said your view of the world, so now I have to ask you.
I'm very cynical.
Really? I wouldn't have expected that.
No, I just don't have that much. I don't have high expectations of people because if you have too much emotions riding on one thing, you're gonna get disappointed. So
Yeah.
I'm just living by myself as a very extroverted person. I'm very good at being with myself and by myself. So like whoever comes into my life, they're there for a reason. And when people leave, like I don't get upset because I'm so like content with the way I am, because I think most people need that. I'm very much generalizing, but this was me in a past life. A lot of people need extroversion. People need to be with other people, need to get drunk because they are not inherently satisfied with the person they are, and they want to forget about who they are.
I always forget who said it, but there's a quote that I love: all of man's problems stem from his inability to sit in a room by himself.
The person you're going to spend the most time with in your life is
you.
yourself.
You're stuck in your head all day. You're not in the world. You're in
Right.
You're locked into yourself. You're facing yourself the whole time.
I was not in love with myself. I did not like myself before the pandemic. I didn't know who I am, what my worth was, what I'm good at. So I was constantly like needing the presence of other people. But now I figured some shit out. Some shit probably haven't yet. So we're just hanging out by myself.
Is that soul searching?
Probably. I would say so. Like at this point, I'm just happy and I'm just kind of cruising until I graduate.
Yeah, I like that. What's 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road?
10 years down the road, I'll be 32. Probably have kids, probably have a house, paying off my mortgage. I want to go to Harvard Business School, be a VP at a fund, and then eventually start my own fund when I'm like probably 35, 38. Take my parents vacationing around the world. My dad loves to travel.
Nice.
Mine
too.
Places. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
I don't know. I want to live. I of course I could say all those things you just said, like exact like career specifications.
It's funny because I literally drew that out the other day, and that's why I know the numbers.
Yeah.
I would not have pulled them out of my ass.
Okay, that's good. That's reassuring. I guess I thought you just had those. You just had those locked and loaded.
I'll be psychotic. No, the math just worked out. I got bored one day, so I started like drawing out my life plan. Like that's the person I am.
And did you do it in words or pictures?
On my iPad. So like lines.
Nice. Because there's people learn in different ways, words versus pictures. I feel like that's a big one that people don't talk about. Also, like this is just completely random, but like your ability to explain like a concept, for instance, like I think about it less in words, and like I have an idea of the concept in my mind that I'm trying to say, and I'm kind of like detailing out the picture that I have in my mind. Because I feel like if you can, a lot of like, maybe say you're going in for the your first VC pitch, and like your company, like if you have a very specific image of it in your mind, and you can like place it within a story, within who you are, within like broader context, and you can just paint that picture really well, that's everything. Like if you can, like, it's so much about telling a good story. And so it, like mapping yourself out, or like journaling, for instance, which I think is a totally underrepresented, underhyped tool that you can use. Like once you have that stuff better mapped out, you can tell the story of who you are, why you are, and why you want to go where you want to go way better, and it's like really convincing. And people buy into stories.
That first story I told, I probably told like 50, 100 times because I've been just talking to other people, just pitching my story, and that's how like I've honed in my message.
Yeah, that's what. If you're a founder, that's what you should do. Get really good at telling a story and placing yourself in as the hero.
That's how Elizabeth Holmes did it.
Yeah.
She was a really good storyteller.
Yeah.
She's psychotic though. But
yeah.
She did it.
Yeah. You're not gonna put on the black turtleneck?
Just close enough.
Yeah, close enough. I mean, this is my version of a black turtleneck.
The classic outfit.
Yeah, the classic outfit.
Interesting. Who are you friends with here?
Who am I friends with here?
Yeah, I'm just curious because you might know. Where do you live?
Harbin, 8th floor.
Oh, I don't know anyone there. Most of my
Who are your
kids.
mentees? What do they do?
Most of them are in Darnell, 3, 4, 5. One I got into AE Pi.
Nice. Who?
Other Rishi.
Yeah, of course I know Rishi.
I just had dinner with him.
Nice. How is he?
I'm doing pledge stuff now. He's on the
Yeah.
other end.
Nice.
That's about it. I know a few of the track guys who are
Nice.
freshmen. But yeah.
That's
about
right.
it.
How do you think this is all gonna end? Like a big picture. Like, I mean, because I wanted to ask you about how far is dopamine the first step? Like, I have this dream of, like, I think the brain is super fucking complex and that it's gonna take a really long time, but I think one day we're gonna be able to map it out, like, fairly well. And I think that.
already doing it.
Say it again.
Elon's already doing it.
Yeah, of course. Like, I'm working with like half and half interning for Lavrock through Georgetown Capital Partners, and we're doing like
Asher.
Asher. Yes, yeah.
She's one of my good friends.
Nice. Yeah, I only talked to him once, but he was really sweet.
He's
Really
really
nice.
nice. Definitely leverage him more because he has a great network.
Okay, good to know.
Tell that came from me.
Okay, I will.
That's gonna carry weight.
I will. All right, sick.
Oh no, I'm gonna call.
Yeah, so we're doing BCI research right now, and you're right. There's so many like companies like doing such cool things with like where we are right now, and I just think like in 100, 200, 300 years, if we're able to make it that far, which I do, like I'm like overall optimistic about the future of humanity, based on like our ability to be selfish and use technology to self-sustain. Like, I feel like a lot of people would take we're going to use up all of our oil and we're not going to stop climate change because we don't want to. But it's like, I think above all else, we don't want to die. And like, we're going to self-preserve at all costs.
Eventually, we'll realize that climate change is real, and they're gonna do it. It's just gonna take a matter of time.
Yeah, and they're probably gonna have to wait till the very last second, and half the world's probably gonna get ravaged by.
Because everyone procrastinates.
Yeah, and it almost has to be like a visceral thing. Like you have to see it to believe it. Like if you hear data, if you hear something about it, like a tsunami in the Philippines, no one in the U.S. cares. Like in all honesty, they only care about like making sure their family's all right. But when they hear when there's a tsunami on the West Coast, then they're gonna start getting their ass in gear.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Stupid place.
You know that feeling of being super chaotic in your mind, having like, I don't know if you have it, but like, and it might sound psychotic, but like the 1,000 voices in your head, like pulling you in different directions, like all just like a lot of like mental chaos. And then you breathe and everything goes quiet and you kind of like get that sense of peace.
No, because I just write everything down to a checklist and just kind of do one thing at a time and just watch a TV show and everything just gets done.
Wait, what?
I don't have that moment because I just write everything down on a list, put it on a TV show and do it and everything gets done.
You can multitask like that? Watch TV and do your shit?
Yeah, because
I can't.
COVID happened and I just got really, really fucking bored.
Damn.
Like, I binge TV shows. Because I watched all of Grey's Anatomy in like 2 months.
Nice. Damn.
It's
And you got all your shit done.
Yeah.
Damn. See, I can only do one thing at once. Like, I'm super monofocus, I guess you could call it.
That's good though, because you're concentrated. I'm just like, I just do 5 things at a time and they just get done.
Yeah, so if you have 5 things to do, are you going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or are you doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, done?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, done? So you're not switching back and forth between things. That's monofocus. That's doing one thing at a time.
Yeah, but I just do like, I don't know. I just don't know how to explain it. Everything gets done.
Yeah.
Within like 3 hours.
You're you're a great executor. Like you just get it done.
Which makes me a good operator.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Makes sense.
You get shit done.
Good to know.
You get
Yeah.
shit done. That's what everyone wants. They want a person that can get shit done, that doesn't just talk, that can actually, that like use your metaphor, put the shovel in the sand, that can get shit done.
Yeah, I was just always curious about what job I have, but then the operator makes sense because I can get shit done because I'm an executor. That makes so much sense.
Look at that, we're coming to realizations on Max Steph. I love it.
On that note,
Let's go. Let's end it on that. Good.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers. I don't cheers with water because my mom lived in Spain for 6 years and said it was bad luck, but
okay.
so don't fucking dare cheers with water.
Okay.
But thank you. I appreciate this. That was fun.
Yeah.
What do you think? Why? What's in your head right now?
I just had a stack today, and I've just been with people the past like 12 hours.
Yeah.
So I feel like the voices in the head is kind of a thing right now.
That's fair. But do you not get, like, after that 12 hours of being with people, like, when you're alone, like, I don't know, don't they all
Yeah.
go away?
I'm just gonna watch some TV.
Nice. You're a fucking big TV girl. Wow. I don't, like, I
Yeah.
wouldn't have expected that, like, with all the
No,
shit
I
you...
just put the TV on and I just watch it, and it's just like, like shit gets
You
done.
make it sound like shit just magically gets done.
I really don't know how to put it. It gets done.
It just gets done. I mean, maybe it's as simple as that.
I'm like 2 weeks ahead of work. Like, I'm gonna travel with my parents because I have so much time. Like, it's just gonna get done.
Where are you going?
Virginia Beach. My dad
Nice.
really likes hiking, so we're just gonna mess around.
Nice. Fire.
What
You
makes you-
traveled a lot?
My dad used to be a travel agent, so.
And so is that a yes?
Yes.
Favorite
Went
places?
to.
It's hard to say favorite because, like, when people say favorite places, like, I've favorites in different categories. Like, people
Yeah.
favorite, culturally favorite, food favorite, wildlife favorite, city favorite, beach favorite, warm favorite, cold favorite.
Oh, I like the warm places.
I like the warm places as well. I like beach warm, white sand, drink in hand places as well. If we're going to get specific about it.
I really love Vienna because of the culture. You get lost in the city, and it's absolutely like gorgeous. I played violin for 10 years, and we did an international tour of Europe.
Oh, that's so sick.
We played in like all these different like cathedrals and chapels to raise money for local children's hospitals.
God
And
damn it, you're
it
so
was
it's so annoying how impressive you and how much shit you've done. And the
you
fact
like-
that you
if you
still
like-
make it seem like it's magic. It's so fucking annoying.
It's just like I don't talk that much about myself because I used to do like everything, and it got to a point where I'm just like, yeah. So I just don't really. That's why I'm quiet. If you don't like, if I'm with a big group of people, I'm just always the one listening.
Yeah, and what are you listening for?
I just listen. I just like people watch.
Yeah.
Like before the pandemic, I would just sit in a cafe and just like.
I like people
Because like
watching too.
freshman year, I would sit here. Because I don't get distracted, but like any of those other rooms, they're with glass, so I just
Yeah.
like watch people go around. Like you'd be so surprised to see the relationships that can form by you just like existing.
But you have to be like what I was talking about before. You have to be receptive of new relationships, which you are. But some like if you were just existing, and you weren't open to it.
I don't know how to explain it.
No, you explained it well. It was good. I did. I mean, unless you had something.
No.
We did Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, but I didn't get to do Vietnam. So now that's on my list.
We did Thailand, Myanmar, Laos.
And is this all through violin, or this is with
this was
this
with
is with
parents,
dad? Nice.
with my parents.
Nice.
Then
What do your parents do? Are they super? What's their type like? Are they similar to you, like super execution driven?
My mom is very, very, very different to my dad. My mom is like in her own world, doing her own thing. Like my dad and I just like leave her be. And then my dad, he flips houses in San Francisco. He used to be a travel agent. He likes doing stuff. I'm like very much a carbon copy of my dad. So there we go.
Interesting. I feel like I can see both my parents in me like scarily much. Like my people person, like outgoingness, and today's gonna be a great day for my dad, and maybe some of that cynical. I know the world's gonna end. Nothing really matters.
It's like very contrasting.
Yeah, but it's like it's only when you're the product of those two
Vastly
different opposing forces that something like super cool I mean, if I can call myself super cool, which I can because I'm a vain piece of shit, you create.
Good to be truthful.
Yeah, above all else. Because if you're not
Exactly.
truthful, then you're a fucking liar.
Right, exactly.
And
Exactly.
I feel like it's, I mean, when people lie, especially when people lie to themselves, that's like the most, I feel like that's like one of the most harmful things you can do. Because like, especially like, I was talking with I mean, this is completely fucking off topic, sorry. I was talking with a psychedelic researcher from Imperial College London the other day. We were talking about bad trips. And I was like, yeah, I wonder how much of a bad trip is just people being forced to deal with their own demons, like the shit that they normally like wouldn't want to think about, like all those like pushed off like resentments that they have like coming up to the surface that they're like bombarded with, and like when they're in this state of mind, like they have to, like they're forced to confront in a way, and that's like bad to them, but that's also like the healing process that can come with that. But if you just don't lie to yourself, well, that's not true. If you do, I feel like not lying to yourself is really helpful. Maybe it won't stop all your demons because life happens to you, but I feel like it helps a lot. And just lying in general, even like little white lies, I feel like don't lie is like, if I was going to write a book, that would be right up at the top.
Do you want me to put you in contact with Eric?
Yes, of course.
You can join his summer session and like write a book. It's very, very helpful.
Does the book have to be like nonfiction? I would assume
fiction.
so.
It could be nonfiction, fiction. I don't remember.
So I have written a book, but it's weird. Like it's like, I mean, not weird. I'm heavily influenced by the psychoanalysts, and like particularly Jung and Freud, and I've read a bunch of them, and so it's. If I can tell you, I like don't tell anyone about it. It's literally, it's like 100.
I'm sorry. Who am I going to tell?
Yeah, I know. That's a thing. But like, because I don't want to just like when you're like, yeah, I don't tell people my whole life story because people don't fucking care. Like they're in their own world. Like they don't care about you. But like now that I have you trapped here, I can tell you about my book because you're not gonna leave just yet. So it's about this kid. This kid named Kay, who's my age, and he finds out it's kind of set Soviet Russia, Gulag Archipelago. So he finds out he's gonna die in a month. So he's like, oh fuck, I'm gonna die in a month, and it's like all the existential crisis, all like everything that comes along with that. But he like goes on all these journeys in his own head. Why are you laughing? Don't laugh at my story.
No, you're just like You never tell people your life story, but I have you trapped here, so it sucks to be you. I'm going to tell you my life story. I just find that really funny.
Okay, good. I'm glad you found it funny and not scared. Yeah, so he goes on all these adventures. So I wonder if I could do something with that, because I've already like written it out and edited it. But I mean, there's like obvious, like in any work of fiction, there's arguably more nonfiction than a lot of like really good literature. I feel like why I'm like attracted like to great books is because I feel like they're almost more real than anything else. Like if you can build a character that's based on 1,000 people's experiences and all those experiences are real, and then you translate that into one like meta person that has had all those something like all those experiences, or the lessons of all those experiences, the most important aspects of all those experiences, isn't that more real than any of the 1,000 other little ones?
I do agree. That's why I wrote my book. Is I have no experience as an entrepreneur, but if I'm the one to bring a new perspective into the world, then I have value.
That's the one thing that everyone offers, their own perspective.
I'm an eavesdropper.
Yeah? A friend?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Do we say hi?
If you want to.
Hi! Did she smile?
She's smiling by herself. She has headphones in.
Nice. Alright, that's a good place then. We're good. That was
Thanks
fucking
for having
dope.
me.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. That was fun.
Yeah. I'm a little tired, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair. It's from the day? Or from the conversation we were here?
It's from the day.
Yeah. I had a lot of shit too. Oh, I'm so happy I don't have anything tonight. I had like weirdly do you know a guy named Professor Alberto Rossi? He's leading the AI initiative here. He's super cool. You should meet him. I talked to him today, and he was like, I'm gonna, bye, thank you.